So hello students, today we move on to the second and last video on fundamental concepts of algebra. So this is the second and last video on 12b, okay, and this is my part 3. So part 1 I have made on exercise 12a, and then I had made first video on exercise 12b where I did question up to 4 and 6 also I did, and here I start second video and last video on exercise 12b where we learn how to find the factors of algebraic expression, and then final question we have true and false. So all the concept children I have given you in my part 2, that is first video on 12b. So if you want to see concept, you see that video lesson first. So here we start. Numerical factor means, children, if you see first question, number, numerical means number, and literal means alphabets, letters. Okay, so here 3 you see is a number, so it's a numerical factor, and A is your literal factor. If you see, same way here -1 will be yours. Actually question is saying all the factors, so if you see answer they have given 3 comma A, but here just to make your understanding better I have divided it into numerical factor and literal factor, and some very good solved examples are there in the book. Kindly see that, it will aid your understanding. So here it will be x and minus x. Okay, so numerical factor is -1, so this you can think to be written as -1x. So x is also a factor, literal factor, and minus x is also a literal factor. Next we move on to AB. So generally you see there are no numbers, so generally you can write one or you can avoid it because there are no numerical over here, because 1 is a factor of everything in the world. If you have a monomial, generally we find numerical and literal factor for a monomial which has 1 term, so 1 is always a factor. So this you may write, you may not write. So A, B and AB. A is a factor means which will divide, children. So if you want to see one example, I'll tell you. If A is a factor, A will divide this, you will get B. If B is a factor, you will divide by B and get A. And AB is also a factor, AB divided by AB is 1. So this is the meaning of factor. Factor means you can divide the given thing by all this, and AB by 1 is AB. So this is immaterial. You may write, you may not write. The last part 3 is your numerical factor. Literal factor we have many: P, Q, Q square, PQ square. So these all are your literal factor. So see nicely, we have P, Q, Q square, and one more thing I think here if you see is we will have PQ also, PQ and PQ square. So total answer if you see at the back of the book, we'll get 3 comma this comma this. So total there are 6 factor, and remember, as I told you, any monomial 1 and itself is always a factor. So here we have divided. Okay, so this is our question 5. State true or false. Now see the next part. Okay, the expression, so here I'll use a blue colored pen to write true or false, and a red color marker to correct it. So the expression, this has 2 terms. No, this is false. So this is your false. Okay, it has only 1 term. So what is the correct one? If you see, children, we have, it has only 1 term. Okay, so a red color may be a little lighter, but anyway I hope it is visible. 6 plus xy is a trinomial. Again this is false, children. it has two terms. It's a binomial, so it is also false. Okay, so the correct word this should be, it is a binomial. It has two terms. So see my previous video, you will see 3ab. So this is again, children, this is a monomial, so this is again false. Okay, because if you see, it is a monomial. Okay, so this also I could have written with red pen, because I told you correction I'll do with red color, and true or false I will use blue color. Okay, now here we go to the part 4. 5xy and 6axy are unlike. Yes, they are unlike. So true, there won't be any use of red sketch, because true is true. They are unlike, because this is xy, this is axy. Don't see the number, children. Here we see only the literal coefficient. xy, axy, they are unlike. A square b and minus b a square, yes, they are like terms. Don't see this minus and arrangement. Okay, 2 into 3 is same as 3 into 2. So a square is here b. So order is not important in multiplication. You will learn order is not important in multiplication. So this is also true, children. Sixth one, xy and minus xy are like term. Yes. Don't see this minus 1 is hidden here. You see the literal coefficient xy. So literal coefficient are same. Here literal coefficient are same. These are different. Therefore they are unlike. They are like term. This is also like term. So this is also true. Okay. Now the last one here, number 7. Before I go to the last 3, 8, 9 and 10. Are they like term? No. 6 and 6p. This has coefficient p, literal coefficient. This is 6. So they are not like term. It is false. What is the correct answer? So 6, 6p. Correct answer, either it should be p, or generally then it will become a number only. So this has to be p, 5p, 7p, whatever. So it is false, because they are unlike term. Okay. So children, please pause the video and copy. So now we move on to the last 3 parts of question 7. Question is true and false. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now see here, children, whether this is true or false. So x and minus x they are like terms. So this is false, because I told you don't see plus minus, they are x literal coefficient. So they are like term if you see. They are like term if you see. So reason they are not asking, but they are not unlike terms, they are like terms. So next question, minus yx and 2yx. So see literal coefficient, they are same. So yes, they are true, because they are like terms. See literal coefficient. So they are like term means they are true. So they are true. So true, I have no correction. Last, the coefficient. I did 1 or 2 question. You will see coefficient of y means, children, you leave y. Coefficient literal and numeral. You see literal alphabets, numeral or numerical coefficient. You see the number. But here, for all other thing, coefficient means other than y. So what is coefficient of y? It is minus 5x, not minus 5. So this is false. So what is the correct answer? I'll show you. The coefficient of y in minus 5xy is minus 5x is the correct answer, not minus 5, minus 5x. So here I have come to the end of exercise 12b, fundamental concepts of algebra. But next exercise children. So what we will see in exercise 12C, which will be very important children, very important here, and you will have most of the question from this chapter, and next chapter is a little more important. So what we will study in 12C, that is my part 4, and first video on 12C, you will see polynomials. So what are polynomials? I'll explain you there. Polynomials in one variable, polynomials in two or more variables, two and more variables we will see. So one variable, polynomials in one variable, polynomials in two and more variable, and most important of all, the full chapter is degree of a polynomial in both one variable and in two or more variables. So they are very important from examination point of view. So please do this exercise nicely. I've done almost more than half. Little what I have not done, and yesterday here from 5 I did 7, 6 out of 3 part I have done 2 part with you. So next video lesson will be very important. So 12C, we will learn a degree of polynomials. So thank you boys for watching this video lesson.